right, hey everybody. So today we're going to be taking a look at writing your conclusion for your research paper. And here's the thing. The conclusion arguably is probably the easiest part of your paper. And that's mainly because, well, you know your topic and you've already written basically 75% if not more of your paper already. And the conclusion basically wraps it all up. So simply put, 3 parts to your conclusion. First part is including a thesis restatement. Now we know that SAS format originally with our introduction was very structured. It's like, this is this because of X, Y, and Z, right? You have your subject, your argument, and your 2 to 3 supporting details. The thesis restatement is basically your argument, but in a way that a lot of people can understand, like anybody can understand, your friend or your family member, right? So it's less structured. I'll give you examples in a little bit, so I'll clarify that. Okay, so our first part, again, is thesis restatement. The second part is the so what, right? So we read the entire research paper or your whole paper, right? Now, why do we care, right? How does this benefit me as a reader, right? So this is where you start letting us know why your subject matters or why your topic matters, right? Why did we have to read this entire paper? Humans want to know basically what's in it for them, right? So you want to make sure you sort of let people know why things matter, right? And as a reminder, every conclusion is different, okay? It's not going to be completely 100% as I'm saying it. It's just going to generally follow, generally, again, that structure that I'm giving you, right? So we have our so what as our second part. And finally, the last part is a reverse hook. I like to call it a reverse hook only because it's our mic drop, basically. And in our introduction, we have a hook from the very beginning. It's our first sentence, essentially, right? But the reverse hook is the last thing that you're going to end on, right? So you want to make it memorable. You want to make it profound, and you want to make it so that your reader is thinking at the end of the day, right? Thinking of everything that you've already written, okay? So I'll give you some examples real quick just to clarify some of the things that I already said, right? So with our thesis restatement, just make sure that it's understandable for other people who may not know about your topic, right? So you're just going to restate it. Again, I'll give examples, okay? It's less structured. Let's see. And the so what? So what exactly means how can everything that you've written directly affect the reader, right? Or in some way affect the reader, right? And finally, we have our reverse hook, which is, again, your mic drop. It's a strong ending, right? Make sure that it's an ending that's powerful enough where you're including pathos rhetoric, right? Pathos, again, is emotion, right? So you want to include that with your conclusion. This is your opportunity to include that, right? You don't have to add any statistics, ethos, or logos, right? That's more for the body paragraphs, okay? Now it's basically more of an original idea for you, okay? And don't forget to use transitions, right? If you want to sprinkle some transitions around your conclusion, go ahead and do that, right? I would include transitions such as ultimately, that was my favorite, ultimately, and let's see, what's another one? Try to stay away from in conclusion, right, as a transition. There's so many other ones that you can use instead, right? So again, we have ultimately, also, right? And what you want to get with these transitions is that you're giving a sense of a finished product somehow. Like, all right, here's how we're going to end it, okay? And then we'll go from there. So I'll give you an example of a conclusion right now. And the topic of this particular conclusion is about recycling and how it's beneficial to our beaches, right? So the SAS format version of this thesis says, recycling is beneficial to our beaches because it prevents the endangerment of marine life and allows for more tourism and finally provides a sustainable future for the ecosystem, right? So that's our SAS format. We have the subject, which is recycling. The argument is that it's beneficial to our beaches. And then 3 supporting details that prevents endangerment of marine life, allows for more tourism, and finally provides a sustainable ecosystem, a sustainable future for our ecosystem, right? So it's very structured, as you can see, but you get what the argument is, right? Now, what you have now for a conclusion is a restatement of your thesis, where it's the same thesis, right, same argument, but it's just told in a different way, right? It's tweaked a little bit, right? So here it is. for a conclusion, right? It starts off with recycling can benefit beaches, its tourism, and overall can make the environment healthier, right? So again, it's the same argument, right? But you're making it in a different way, right? So that's the first part of the conclusion. Next part is our so what, right? Begin with a transition. It says, ultimately, action must be taken to preserve the natural habitat of marine life so that our future generations can enjoy the soft sand and the cool, welcoming waves of the ocean. A day at the beach should be full of life and joy. Right here we have our so what sentences right there, and what they have right there is pathos rhetoric, right? Emotion, right? You're kind of painting the picture for them of why people should care about the beaches, right? Finally, our last part of our conclusion is the reverse hook. It's our mic drop. It's the last sentence or two where you're going to end it, right? You want to make the reader really think at the end of the day with your sentence right here, right? So it says, so the next time you visit the beach, think twice before you drop that ice cream wrapper on the sand. You will regret your actions for years on end. So right there, you have your conclusion. You have 3 different parts, and honestly, it's the easiest part of your paper because, again, as I mentioned before, you know your topic. You know everything that you've written about your topic. Now it's time to kind of add a little bit more to it towards the end and make it your own, right? So this is really an opportunity for you to customize your own writing. Other than that, you've finished your paper. So that's it. That's a conclusion. All right.